Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me for a reading on what is next in your life. What is coming up? What's coming in? And I will do a golden nugget card at the end, one extra card in case you have any further questions about your pile that you chose. Sometimes it's kind of nice to ask Source for one more card. And we'll begin. Now, these piles are from 3 different decks. So, we'll start with this blue stone. Whoops. And I'll show you the decks as we go through them too. All right. Whoever chose this blue stone for pile number 1. First, this is the Arcanum Deck. Okay. Oh, we got the king and the queen. Oh my gosh. We are an insightful group. Pile number 1, aren't we? Okay. And then this is the classic tarot. It's a Rider-Waite deck. Right. We have the King of Swords and the 8 of Wands out of that deck. Yeah, maybe I'll move these over a little bit. Okay. And out of the steampunk deck, which is fun, just a fun one, we've got the 5 of Wands, and we have, the World. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, you've got some really powerful, mature energy here. All right, and with the Light Seers, whoopsie, Light Seers Tarot here. Where is that little, I'll show you the book from the Light Seers Tarot, which is really lovely. Okay, we've got, actually these are 4 decks. So we have the Ace of Coins and we have the 5 of Coins. Okay. All right, 5 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so looking at this spread, for goodness sakes, I mean, I see so much wisdom here. So much insightfulness, so much nurture, so much compassion, so much intuition. If Source wanted, if you are in any doubt that Source is telling me, hey, you've really developed these things, then the Source gave you the King and the Queen, just to make sure you knew. So you're also somebody who reads people very well, very accurately. You, in fact, with the King and the Queen there, you may be somebody who your guides are telling you things about that person, about what they're thinking, about what they're feeling, about their lives. And maybe you don't always, not everybody realizes that's happening because they're so used to it. It's such a part of their working knowledge that they don't even realize that these thoughts that are coming in, that they just know things. They don't realize those thoughts are actually, you're picking up on what your guides are telling you. You're picking up on the greater consciousness. You're picking up on that knowledge that is accessible to all who tune into that frequency. So that really may be going on, and that's to your benefit. That's a strength. But then, see, I wonder if sometimes your empathy, your caring, your compassion, and your focus on other people, I wonder if that sometimes gets in the way of you making sure you have enough with this 5 of Coins. It's almost like Spirit keeps offering you opportunity to have more money, health, whatever's materially what you need that offers you material security. It's almost like, yeah, and you certainly have the brains to figure this out because you have the King of Swords. I mean, that person's disciplined. That person can make a plan. That person has a great analysis. So it's almost like, I almost wonder if you give away too much of what you have. That's what I'm saying. I almost wonder if Source doesn't keep trying to bring you more, but maybe you have trouble receiving it and keeping it for yourself. Because sometimes you maybe just, you give too much of yourself away, perhaps. And being so smart, here's the, this is maturity of intellect. Maybe you even know this is true. But you know, your nurture, your compassion, your empathy takes over. You know, you are a success. You get the World card. You're an absolute success. In other words, I'm not saying, I don't know that it means that for many of you, it's not that you're in want necessarily. I mean, you may have stability. You may have some good financial stability. You may have enough. You may have enough of everything. But I feel like they're saying, wait a minute, but you're still shut out of some rewards that are supposed to be yours. Yeah. Let's see. What is this now again? 5 of Wands, conflict. You would be somebody who would hate conflict more than most because of your sensitivity, your love, your feel for other people. You would be somebody who would not like conflict, who would not like it if people were arguing with each other, at odds with each other. However, with that king and queen, you would also be somebody who, to whom conflicted individuals are drawn because you smooth it over. People bring their conflicts to you because you smooth them over. You help them understand each other's perspective. You, just by your energy alone, for goodness sakes, you're calming. So people with internal conflict kind of want to come to you and just sit with you, talk with you. Heck, they just want to be with you because you're so sensitive that they know you're going to be careful with their feelings, unlike whoever else is in this card. So I just see you mature, well-developed, successful, yet too frequently you are not the one enjoying the benefits of that success. That's what I'm seeing. Way too frequently. And often other people are enjoying those benefits. And you know what? I am not throwing any stones. I do think, people describe for their near-death experiences, they describe understanding every other human being all of a sudden, realizing we are one and being able to take other human beings' perspectives. And that's so much what you do as the King and the Queen of Cups already on this side. Take other people's perspectives. We are all one. There's nothing wrong with wanting to love other people, wanting to help other people improve their lives. However, what's next for you is to let, even though this is your dominant characteristic, to let your brain overrule your heart for a while. To make a plan. Use that wonderful intellect you have to carve out, see, look with that sword, carve out time for yourself. You're also very busy with this 8 of Wands and very competent. As you move things forward, it all moves forward on a number of different fronts in unison, in a way where everything always seems to get done, and you have a lot of goals, you have a lot of things that give you purpose and that you are loyal to do. However, that 8 of Wands can feel pretty busy. And frankly, the King and Queen of Cups, they like to reflect. They like to have a little time to reflect, to meditate perhaps, or to experience their own emotions, what's going on. So I see carving out time with this King of Swords being more King of Swords. The King of Swords is very assertive, does not care too much what people think. Sword of truth. He carries the sword of truth. So he knows that what he's saying is true. He knows that other people might not like to hear it. Heck, he might not like to hear it sometime, but what has that got to do with anything? The King of Swords is saying the truth is the truth is the truth. What's it got to do with, how you feel about it, how I feel about it is really kind of irrelevant in some cases. So I think that's what's next for you, because Source is wanting to bring you more money. I'm going to say it. Ace of Coins. Source wants to bring you money. Here comes the opportunity. You are already a success. You've got nothing to prove. Source wants to bring you better health. Source wants you to be in with the abundance, not outside the door of that church. Don't take the hard road outside in the cold so that you can bring these people inside to be nurtured. Maybe they need to experience some of the consequences of their immature conflict. Maybe they need to live with the chaos that they carry internally. Maybe they need to mature. Remember, in the Rider-Waite, this is a group of pages, right? And they're doing training exercises, so they're fighting with their wands. It's important for them to do those training exercises because they're learning. They're sharpening their skills. They're also maturing. They're learning how to interact with each other in a way that is more cooperative. So sometimes, yeah, it's just really not your job to smooth over some things, and certainly not to give up any of your health or money to do that. That's what I'm seeing. It seems very clear to me. So your planning is going to be on fire, though, for how to do this. Okay, well, thank you so much, pile number 1. And remember, I do a clarification card at the end in case you have any further questions. A golden nugget card. Okay, for those of you who chose the orange stone, we have, okay, and I'm going to show you the decks again, the light Seers Tarot with the Hanged Man and the Emperor. Interesting. And we've got Arcanum, the Arcanum Deck with the Hierophant and the Death card. Okay, and we've got the classic tarot deck. That's it's a Rider-Waite deck with the 5 of Cups, the Temperance Angel. And we've got the steampunk deck with the 4 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. All right. Let me straighten these out and ponder on them a bit. You've got an interesting combination. I like to sometimes group them the way they seem to be working. Well, no, I like the way this is grouped already. Okay, you've got some competing impulses here, don't you? Because, okay, so the Emperor is super take charge. Super take charge. Like, yeah, I know what's right to do. I know what makes sense. I know what's fair. I know what's best for what's the greater good. And Emperor takes charge. But then here you have the Hanged Man, who accepts that now is not the time to move forward on something. Now is the time to see things differently. Look at the enlightenment around this person's head. In fact, sometimes it's the times in life when you are at a standstill. You can't move forward on something you would really love to move forward on. Sometimes those are the exact times that Source is going to use to do something big in you that will change your future and make it much better. Sometimes, if it wasn't for these delays, we just keep on going and keep on going. We'd be kind of stagnant. You know, we wouldn't make huge steps forward or have sometimes enlightening spiritual experiences. Those can be frustrating times. But if we accept that this time may be about more than, getting something done or being productive or taking the next leap forward in our lives that other people can see, making progress that other people can see. It may not be about that. It really may be about something is keeping us in a place long enough or giving us enough time or, enough, calming us down enough to open ourselves spiritually. get some new wisdom, some new understanding. Maybe it's time to process a whole bunch of things that you've been through that never got completely processed. That really can be, and they need to be. And they need to be, and there's no rushing it, and there's no feeling embarrassed about it or ashamed if you need to take time to process something difficult and find the meaning in it. That's really all right. Maybe there are new insights that are going to be coming into that launch you on a whole new direction. And so maybe that Emperor energy is just like it will be coming in. We're asking, what is the thing that's coming in for you? So maybe if you accept that this takes the time it takes, there is no rushing it. There's something about surrender to source, a surrender to the divine within you. When we stop fighting sometimes and stop striving and stop thinking about what's next, sometimes that's when the next era is ushered in a beautiful way because we understand something. This is a gradual process for you. This does fit with that explanation, doesn't it? The Five of Cups, which is kind of a depressing card. It's sort of like, okay, I'm looking back, I'm looking on things that were sad, cups that were spilled, disappointments perhaps. They had been upright. I had been investing in them. They had been potential sources of fulfillment, and now there they are spilled. This individual does need to grieve that, and maybe that's this, and make some sense of it, and come to acceptance. There's so much freedom and acceptance. Sometimes this depressed mood can just evaporate when we simply say, okay, universe, I give things permission to be the way that they are. I accept my reality. And then sometimes great freedom can come in, a lightning can come in, sometimes crying though too. I mean, let's face it, sometimes there's an outpouring of emotion, but look at this Temperance angel. This emotion is never wasted. From one cup into the other, from one cup into the other. In the Arcanum Deck, it's fire and water in the different cups. So it's never wasted. It's never, this experience is not wasted. And in fact, there are two cups standing. It's a lot of times too, when we come to accept a disappointment, when we come to accept it, then these more positive thoughts can come in, like, oh, but I am so blessed to have this and this. Or, oh, but now I think I'm seeing how this could make a way for something to come into my life that needed to come into my life. That's better, actually, in the long run. So this gradually, if you've been having trouble with your thoughts, maybe dwelling on the negative, the grief, letting the grief out and accepting. And then we have the Nine of Swords. We don't need to worry. Sometimes people worry a lot because they are not working through a disappointment or something sad. And you know what? This may not have even been a big thing. You may not be letting yourself acknowledge that it was a difficult experience or a disappointment or something has not gone the way you wanted it to go because it doesn't feel like a big thing and you don't want to complain and you feel like, well, certainly that shouldn't be that big a deal. Well, I know. I mean, you might be very, very practical. And the Hierophant is sort of like somebody who keeps mindful about what should be, right? Maybe you think you shouldn't be bothered by this or that, but it's there, it's there, it's there. Maybe it's symbolic of a greater transition you're making. Maybe it didn't seem like it was that big a deal to you, but your emotions are telling you otherwise. And maybe that's coming out in some worry or some trouble sleeping. So really, and this Death card, yeah, this Death card definitely, right, goes with that. So it's like there's something that is done. There's something that's done. And maybe it's time to say it is done. It's done. And guess what? I can take this time and come with acceptance and come with a belief that I can get supported. I can get loved by this Temperance angel. This can make me wiser. I can come back into balance and maybe quickly. I just feel like these cards are saying, hey, that's behind you, you know, and maybe it's a matter of just the emotional baggage of it, working through that. The Nine of Swords, very frequently I look as the worry is a waste kind of thing. Like it's somebody thinking, trying to figure something out mentally. And really what they need to do is tap into their emotion and their spirituality here. Sometimes just, you know, whatever higher power you pray to, if you pray, or whatever you communicate with, whatever greater consciousness or higher self you communicate with, however you want to define that, sometimes just saying to that positive, loving, all-knowing force, I can't figure this out. I don't know what to do. I'm worried and I cannot figure this out. I need you. Give me the answer. Give me clarity. Give me peace with what is. Give me hope for the next thing in my life. And then you go about your day. Or you sleep. And things just turn. That sometimes also helps us to get out of the thinking, and really offer up our emotions to a healing, enlightening, loving force, loving divine. I feel like you're just on the edge of processing this adequately to really be moving on. Don't worry about the shoulds. I just feel like saying don't worry about the shoulds. Don't worry about the Hierophant can be our friend, can be against us if the Hierophant is our friend when we use a societal structure or norm or tradition or something or organization, profession. We use it to accomplish a goal we would really have trouble accomplishing on our own. That's when the Hierophant's our friend. But the Hierophant can also come up as the shoulds, the oughts, the a bit confining and limiting. And this to me is not saying limit. This to me, these cards are saying we're not talking about limits here. We don't care. We shouldn't care right now. Well, shouldn't. There I should. We don't need to care about what people think, how things look. The transformation that's happening is internal. And it is emotional. And it is spiritual. And maybe there's something really miraculous happening. And it does represent a turn after some sort of loss or ending into take charge energy. Yeah. And more enlightened perspective. The Four of Wands can be, goodness, that's a beautiful card. That's just a lovely card. I feel like that's coming up for you. That can be a move. It can be a wedding. It can be a wonderful gathering that people would decorate for, you know, a wonderful big party. It can be something lovely that's happening in your home. It can also be some transformation happening within your home. So this is just a lovely card. I feel like you're on the edge of something really moving through, and you're going to then be feeling a whole lot better, ready to move on to something new and more positive. Maybe if you haven't felt like you can take charge, that's because all this had to be resolved and it wasn't time to take charge. That will be coming in, that feeling like, okay, I can take charge of my life. But maybe with the support of the divine, with drawing on the energy of the divine, drawing on the direction of the divine. Not alone. Never alone. And the angels are with you. So that is a really interesting reading, pile number 2. Really wonderful. Okay. All right. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. Those of you who chose the purple and blue stone. All right. The steampunk deck, those cards are the Page of Swords and the High Priestess. Ooh. Okay. the Seers Tarot deck, we've got this imagery is so beautiful. 10 of Swords, or 10 of Wands. It's the Wands. 10 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. Yeah, my brain registered 10 of Wands, but I said 10 of Swords. Okay, but that is 10 of Wands, which is tending to be the more overburdening kind of card. Okay, so this is the classic tarot, and that is more the Rider-Waite deck, the regular Rider-Waite kind of imagery. And then we have the Arcanum deck, and that is these two. Okay, so let's see how all these shake out. 3 of Wands. You've got a lot of wand energy here. My goodness. Very purposeful. You're very purposeful and good at it. Look, you've got the Queen of Wands there. Good at it. You know what your main priority is. You're hanging on to it. You move forward. Also, gosh, boy, the universe is really working with you, bringing you an opportunity with the Ace of Wands, bringing you a little fire, bringing you more purpose. I feel like that is ongoing. I really do. With these cards, I feel like that is an ongoing thing for you. You just live a purposeful life. You really do. Purpose is important to you. There are probably, you know what your main priority is, but there's more than one, right? In fact, sometimes you take on a lot of them, a lot of goals, a lot of priorities. I feel like there's some real care for other people. And you're a planner. Look at, you've invested in something that will pay off in the future. Yeah. So really, you've been pretty busy. Now that 10 of Wands is always a little problematic though, because and it's right by the 4 of Cups, of course. The 4 of Cups is some dissatisfaction, right? You've got these cups, they are upright, and so they're not bad things, but there's something dissatisfying about it, and you're just not feeling really open to hoping for a more encouraging message or a more hopeful message, because I feel like this is sort of something you've been in for a while, and you know, it's okay, because it helped mature you. It matured your sense of purpose. It matured you into somebody who can summon the fire they need to summon to keep going in the direction they know they are to go right now. Someone who can find that purpose, that fire deep within. You know, that Queen of Wands, she just owns the fire. She's also able to fight for what's so important to her too. She is no shrinking violet. She also enjoys her physicality. So whether you're male or female, that Queen of Wands as a representative for you is really, it's a very powerful card. And I see this. I mean, you've even invested things that will indeed pay off in your future. You've got a new opportunity coming in, and perhaps it is a new opportunity to invest in your future here. Have something that will pay off, be beautiful, be wonderful, prosperous. But there's some emotion here too. I feel like with these two cards, that Ace of Cups, it can be about joy, but it can also be about comfort. You know, like Source is trying to bring you comfort, rest, soothing, love, peace. Almost like to whisper in your ear, you don't have to carry so much. It's okay if you're not satisfied. You're not feeling satisfied with your emotions related to what you already have. That's all right. But look at that cup that's offered. She's looking away from it. And in the Rider-Waite too. She's looking away from it. I think Source is saying, but hey, I'm going to bring you a different cup that's different than the rest. That is going to not only soothe and bring you peace, but also bring you something positive emotionally. Something enjoyable, something nice, something, a blessing. So there's some ministering to your emotions here. the Queen of Wands, sometimes she doesn't pay a lot of attention to her emotion because she's so filled with purpose that she just is going to barrel forward. And she's so dang competent, she's just going to take on all these things, all these worries, all these concerns, tasks, perhaps, yeah. But for some of you, these are priorities, things that are important to you, you know, things you think about, not just for yourself, but for other people. Now, I haven't been ignoring the High Priestess here. The High Priestess is your major arcana. That is actually the most important card in this layout. So the High Priestess. Wow. There is a knowing in you. You don't have to keep all these priorities in mind. You can trust that you will know which direction to go in next. You will simply know. And look at all this help from Source too coming in. You obviously asked for that help and it's coming in. So yeah, you will know. You will know what to do next. You don't need to keep track of everything here. Just keep track of your main priority. That's what I'm saying. Just, you know, as long as you've got your main priority in hand, you know, what's most important to you, all the rest, it really is minutia. And you don't even really need to carry it around in your brain because your High Priestess is well developed. That's your major arcana. That's like, okay, you have this sense of knowing, I should do this. Now I'll do that. You know, this I can get rid of because it's really not in line with my priority. You know, that rod I can give back to somebody else who properly should have it. You know, I just feel like the High Priestess, maybe that's the reason you're listening to this reading right now. Like your inner knowing is just kind of saying, I'm here. I know exactly what should be next. Now, the High Priestess is not going to necessarily, you know, this isn't the Queen of Swords. She's not going to make this 10-step plan or anything, but she's going to give you a knowing. And sometimes it's even hard to explain how it happens. You just get a clarity. It's just like you're checking in with your inner High Priestess. You're going about your day and you don't know where it tipped, but all of a sudden you have clarity about what you need to do. And maybe you're then hearing the positive message coming in from Spirit here. Because maybe you've allowed yourself to feel whatever emotion needs to be felt. And that can all get washed through and positive can replace it. You will always have, right, Spirit giving you the next thing that you're going to be doing. You don't even realize it. I think if you look back at your days, you'll see how you did this and you did this and then you went and did that and you did the other thing. And it may feel like scattered, or it may feel, you know, kind of like you were going in a number of directions at once. But frankly, that's not true at all. Your High Priestess, your inner knowing was guiding you to do this and that and the other, and it all gets done. And what's according to your main priority, what is in line with that gets done. And not only that, but investing into the future. So I just feel like these are cards saying, I'm here to help you. You don't have to do it all on your own. You don't have to do any of it on your own. I'm here to help you. Your higher self, your knowing is here to help you. And then we have the Page of Swords here. I don't know who that is. I just feel like that's somebody in your environment who may be talking off the top of their head, and I don't know. Could be an air sign. Could be. But it's just like Page of Swords. It can be somebody who's quite smart. It can be a younger person, but someone who's smart, but yet not yet knowledgeable and not yet wise. So that can be the Page of Swords. That might be somebody talking that you're supposed to just completely ignore. I don't don't know. I think it could be for some of you because it just doesn't fit with the rest of the reading. Sometimes the Page of Swords can be a brand new plan, a new thought that you're pursuing, a new line of thinking, it could be the page can be picking up the Ace of Swords, I suppose, and get a new insight. But whatever that is, I just think that the bulk of your reading is about that High Priestess knowing and trusting your knowing. And feeling good about who you are and your purpose, but not feeling like that means you have to take on everything at once. And prioritizing your emotional well-being here too. And spending some time with your higher self, with Source, to gain back this energy, this fire, you know? Maybe you have to work through some water to get to the fire, some emotion to get back to the fire. But this is an excellent, excellent reading, because I believe that the next thing coming in, according to this reading, is a new opportunity, new fires coming. Process some emotion here. And then the Three of Wands is an opportunity even to invest in your future where something beautiful comes in. Like this woman, her ship is going to come in. She is the merchant. She is the wealthy merchant. She has invested. She's looking out. The ships are coming in. Now it's going to be time to reap what she's sown, to bring in the good reward that she has so faithfully invested in. That's what I see there. So there is an investment in the future that will indeed pay off for you. If things have been kind of hard or struggling, I feel like it's all going to be worth it. That's what I'm seeing there with the Three of Wands. It will be worth it. Your ship will eventually come in here. But in the meantime, you have Source ministering to your emotions and making you feel so much better. All right. Well, I sure hope that is helpful. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now, for those of you who would like a little further clarification from the Golden Nugget card, okay, I'm using the Good Tarot for the Golden Nugget card. And we have, oh my goodness, Fortune's Wheel. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, well, the topic of this reading is, what is the next thing that's coming in for you? What's coming in? What's the next thing coming? And the Wheel of Fortune is saying the next thing that's coming is fated to come. It is supposed to be coming. It is the changing of a pattern. It is the changing of if you felt like you've been stuck in a rut in some area of your life, oh boy, that's changing. It's like, you know, I was just talking to somebody about this today. Sometimes, you know, we try the same thing. We try to conquer a problem. And we try over and over and over, and we're just frustrated because it just doesn't seem to, we just don't make the progress on it we think we should. And here it still is. And we thought by now, surely we would have victory over that problem. You know what? Sometimes it's not just been time. It's just not been time. You know, sometimes the universe has a plan. And as much as we don't like it, there's good reason. There's good reason why we were in this certain pattern for a long time, but now it's time to change. Now it's time for it to change. There's good reason. And maybe we're clued in on that later. You know, like, oh, I see, if that would have come in then I would have had this problem or that problem, or not been able to do this, or not been able to enjoy that, or something, not be able to take advantage of this. There's a reason. There's oftentimes a reason. And we can ask that we are told later, at least. Now would be nice too, if we're given an inkling. But it makes sense after a while. We can ask for it to make sense. But you've got a new era coming in. the universe is actually drawing you to this reading. That means to see, because there is something new coming in. Well, I thank you all so very much. I hope this was helpful to you. Bless you for watching my channel and liking the video. I thank you. Bye-bye.